welcome to Homekeepers. Oh, I hope you'll sit down and have a cup of tea with me today. And just want to welcome you right in. We call this the parlor. Just come right on in, and always conscious that I have every confidence in the world that we have new viewers every day. So hope this won't be your last, and then for the regular viewers, every single day. We appreciate you and love you more and more. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for staying with us to try to make the homes of America better. The home keeper. You know, if we had more true keepers of the home, we would have less policemen. You know, we'd have less of a lot of things that are just out there to just squelch sin and iniquity. So it's got to start at home, and that's why we're here. So I'm so glad that you're there, and I think you will be too, because I have a special guest today. His name is Winky Pratney. A lot of people will remember that name, and he kind of came on the scene about the time of the Jesus movement, although he wasn't an integral part of that. But since that time, which is, I'm trying to figure at least 4 decades, has traveled more than 3 million miles and speaks to at least 500,000 people every year, to youth. Mainly, that has been his ministry, but also to youth leaders and those who disciple the young. Rich, wonderful ministry in the body of Christ, and I'm honored to have him today. And we're going to join Stephanie in a minute. We're going to make another version of those sticky buns, but this one's got cranberries and a lot of good stuff in it, and a little bit different type of dough, I think. So I'll get with her on that, but first let me remind you, we are viewer supported, and that's you, my friends. And I always tell you that if the Holy Spirit, you know, just nudges you to give an offering to this ministry, I hope you will respond to that, because if you would, and if everybody did, every need would be met. So if you use a credit card, call 1-800-229-0059, or write to me at Homekeepers, Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758, and we will thank you so much, and I believe the Lord blesses the giver. In fact, Stephanie, I know that.
I agree.
I'm a giver.
Yes.
And the Lord blesses me a lot.
You know, you would think we called each other and just said, you know, wear your black and white
wear the
today.
black and white today, yeah. Can't explain it, but it often
Great
happens.
minds
So
think
what's
alike.
going on with you? This is the coupon queen, you know. If you had any really great grocery, you know, those receipts that come out.
I went last weekend and I saved over 50%, $30 in coupons.
Boy. She has excited other people here in the studio, and they're men. This was interesting. And one of them said he's considering it a part-time job.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't know why I didn't do this before. Why didn't we do this before? He was
Does it drive you a little nutty?
So we're going to make...
You know who you are.
You know what's great about these buns? You can make a different type of these every single day of the month and never run out of ideas. It's
But
great.
I think I'll like this better, because some of them are the biscuit things, and these are more the croissant.
Right. So if you want to do your special spraying,
Yeah, this is where
that's
I
your
shine.
specialty. And then I have 2 tablespoons of butter. I have 2 tablespoons of syrup.
But we were talking before the music rolled that we think they don't put enough sticky stuff in
I
these
agree.
recipes.
We're going by the
So-
recipe, but you can certainly add to it.
When we do it on our own, we're going to double it, because
Sounds
I
good
like
to
it
me.
gooey.
And that was 2 tablespoons of brown sugar I put in there too, if you want to put that in there. And then I just have crescent rolls that I've unrolled here.
Do you put it in there? Do you put all this stuff in it?
Nope, put it in, because this goes in here. The cranberries
Okay.
go in.
Oh, yeah, I would put a lot more gooey than this.
Oh, yeah.
What is this, 2 tablespoons of butter and what?
2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar.
Oh, I'd triple it.
Oh, yeah. And then this is a 3/4 cups cranberries. You can, dried cranberries, definitely you can put more, and brown sugar.
There you go.
Yummy. And then you can use pecans. We're using walnuts because you like walnuts.
Do you know what's so neat about, put this in here,
And I'm just rolling this up.
and this is plenty. It's supposed to be about a 1/2 cup, but it's really plenty. You know what's so neat about these? If you have company or something, you can fix these in the morning so fast, and it's a real treat.
You could make them the night before. You could get up in the morning and just throw them in the oven.
You could do that. Just put them in the fridge.
And then you just cut them up, and we're going to cut them up and put them in the pan right on top of here. And you're just going to put them in the oven, what,
350 for about
10 minutes?
15, 18
Do you want me to
minutes.
flip those real quick?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And we've got some that are done, and
Yes.
it seemed to be the consistent
Well, they're flipping a little bit.
that I
They're
not flipped them, and I'm
flippable.
glad I didn't. But aren't they gorgeous?
Yes.
See, that's the
I
reason
didn't loosen
put more
all of them.
gooey
That
on
was
it.
the problem. I loosened a couple. I didn't loosen
Yeah.
all.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be gone before the credits
They'll
roll.
get eaten.
Yeah, they will. Okay, I'm going to take. I want that's real hot.
It is hot.
Gooey. That's the. Okay. Oh my, I like that dough a whole lot better than biscuit dough.
Yeah.
You want
That's
this?
good stuff.
I promise you, you want this, and we'll send it to you. The information's coming up on the screen, and you can get it from that. And while you're looking at that, I'm going to join Winky Pratney. We're going to talk about a lot of good things: revival, youth getting on fires, just good stuff. So stay with us.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, please send your request along with a gift of $5 or more to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758.
Well, it's a delight to welcome to Homekeepers a gentleman who's had a huge impact on youth, and that is maybe what's needed more than anything else in the body of Christ. Welcome. I'm so glad to meet you.
Thank you. My only sadness is I missed out on the sticky bun. I hope
We're going to wait. We're going to just, you know, save
going to
one
track
for
Steph
you.
down.
Now, I said on Facebook that my first question to you would be who first called you Winky?
Oh, I usually tell people that somebody hated me when I was young, but it's my father was a professional athlete, and his name was William. So like Billy Graham, whose actual name is William Franklin Graham, and his dad's name is William Franklin Graham, and his grandfather's name, and of course he called Franklin William Franklin Graham, and Franklin called his boy Will, who's also William Franklin Graham. My dad's name was William Pratney, and so any version of William was my dad, and he was a famous professional athlete. So when I was still in my mother's womb, her younger sister said, "How's wee Willie Winky?" coming in, and that's how I got it. I'm stuck with it, and God still calls me Winky. So.
But you know what? It's a name that stands out, and you remember it.
Yes, it is. Little kids like it too. You know.
Yeah, and if you'd have been William Pratney, we might not have remembered it.
I don't know. And the only other competitor for my name was a purple Teletubby. So, and I'm not one of those. So I just thought I'd share that.
I remember that too. All right, as I mentioned, you've traveled more than 3 million miles, 500,000 people per year that you speak to, and you motivate leaders, ministers, educators, and young people. But your technical background is in organic research. What is that?
Chemistry, actually, yeah. And that was not as a Christian. From the time I was 7 till the time I was 17, those 10 years, I gave my entire greatest focus and attention. There's a rule they have in doing something of global impact. It's called the 10,000 hour rule. And it doesn't matter if you're going to be a famous crook or a famous cook or whatever, but you need, if you're going to reach that level, you have to put at least 10,000 hours into your chosen discipline. And that works out roughly 3 hours a day, 6 days a week for 10 years. So from that time I was 7 till the time I was 17, that 10 years, I spent a good chunk of my time in chemistry. And when I went to high school, I had a better lab than the high school did. When I went to university, I had a better lab than the university. And 2 years in a row, I pulled one of the 2 top marks in New Zealand in organic chemistry. That's my hometown. So getting saved was a bit of a shock for me.
How old were you when you got saved?
I was 17, 1962. So I'm an ancient person now. And this will be my 5th generation of teenagers and adult, you know, and then I'll say college students. So
you had your life all planned here.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Lord saved you.
Yeah.
And messed it up.
Yeah, the trouble with Jesus, he acts like he's God or something. He comes and he just takes over. And, you know, you can work all things out and stuff. And we weren't atheists. Our family wasn't atheist. Dad's a professional athlete, so he wasn't a hard drinker or a smoker. My mother had some nursing background like my wife has. And And so they were quite a nice group of people, but still pagan. And so for me, I wasn't against God. I never even thought much about it.
You never went to church or anything?
No, not really. My parents got married in a good church. You know, they all got drunk together. It's one of those kind of situations. But I never was a master murderer, you know. I never had a stable of hookers and stuff. I just missed out on so much.
So what were the circumstances for Jesus to take over like this?
My mother first got saved. She had a marvelous encounter with the Lord. And one of the things my mother used to do, she was an entrepreneur, and she raised a huge amount of money for a movie theater chain. So as a result, our family were given platinum passes. You know where it says passes?
Oh, yeah.
Ours didn't count. We showed these, and everybody said we're not worthy. And my dad and I watched every movie. I'm Lucas's age, so I've watched about every movie that that theater had. When I was 11 years old, I saw a Christian movie. It really wasn't done as a Christian movie. It's A Man Called Peter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a wonderful story. And I was sitting in there, and it's where Peter Marshall walks out. He's failed his exams. He's going to walk home through the Scottish, walk through the fog, and he takes the wrong direction. He doesn't know it. And somebody calls his name 3 times there, and each one's louder. And I'm sitting there, and I hear this, Peter. And then even louder, Peter. And then he starts asking, who is it, who's there? And the last time, super loud, and he goes to take a step, and he trips over a tree root, and he goes to push himself up, and there's nothing there. He is right at the edge of about a 150-foot cliff down to a quarry, and one more step, he would have died. But those 3 names, about 3 years ago, I found a recording of that movie. It came out as a DVD.
Oh, so I'd like to get that.
Oh, it is wonderful. It's classed now as one of the greatest movies, Christian movies of all time.
And we're talking about Peter Marshall, who became the Presbyterian pastor at the National Church in Washington, D.C., died very early.
Yeah, about 40s.
And his wife, Catherine Marshall, really carried on, sold, I'm sure, millions of books.
And then Peter Jr. died about a year and a half ago.
Oh, he did?
Yes, he had a lovely life too.
Yeah, I interviewed him.
But the thing that was wild for me, I heard that voice calling his name. My mother was met by Jesus. She tried to kill herself, coming home with a messed up life and things, and then lying there with blood, vomiting stuff, that thought she had TB. She said to God, I tried to kill myself on that boat, and somebody stopped me, probably an angel or something. She said, so if you're so powerful, why don't you just come and take my life? And he did. The Lord came. He was in a new home. Her brother was the only one that was religious in the entire family, and the Lord came. He didn't open the door. He didn't blow a Jesus-shaped hole in it. He just came. It was 2 in the morning. It was pitch black, not a stick of furniture in the house. And he spoke to her and just said 2 words. And all my mother's life, it was those words that changed her life. Nobody knew what those words, and she wouldn't tell them, but I found out what they were. The Lord said to her, find Peter. Find Peter. And this pastor, a lovely pastor this man used to spend his whole night praying over Auckland City, and he had like 4 or 5 meetings. His name was Bloomfield, and they called him Peter. That was the first pastor she went to. She took us to, my dad and I, we got saved in that little street mission. And when she died, I had talked to her, and she told me what those 2 words were. They were, find Peter.
And she did. Find Peter.
And she did. She found the Peter there. She found the Peter in the Bible. The most amazing thing is this. When I found that DVD, I got that little clip, and I was watching and listening for Jesus to say it. And it wasn't in the movie.
Oh, is that right?
There was no voice speaking to him in the movie. I heard that voice when I was 11 years old. So God talked to me in a pagan movie theater and spoke to me, and I didn't even know it.
And you can say the rest is history. I just wonder why when people get saved, like yourself, there's that zeal. I mean, you go out and you have to fulfill his role for you, but you have to reach, and young people, that, to me, that's the hard group.
They believe in the supernatural. It's just that now it's the demonic supernatural. You know, you've got Twilight, you've got a whole ton of vampire movies and stuff. They are not unspiritual. They're just not
saved.
Yeah,
it's the wrong.
Yeah.
And so I do remember your ministry with youth, which continues today. My question is, how has your approach had to change? Because you've gone from everything, you know, rock and roll and hip hop and rap. Please, I'm a musician. Don't tell me rap is an art form. And so you've had to recognize all this. I mean, I know that mankind is the same and the Lord is the same, but you got more stuff to go through.
Yes. Well, we've done an outreach with a friend of mine, Tim Delena, who up until this last year was pastoring in the worst city in America. And that's official name is Highland Park, but it's 6 Mile in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I did we had about 1,200 kids come from all over the country to minister in 6 Mile. So we've seen it change. The mayor got saved, superintendent of schools got saved. We saw real change going in 6 Mile. What we used to do when kids came, we'd do some fun videos for them to see. So there's one on YouTube, if you like. It's called 6 Mile, and it's my takeoff, because M&M was just 2 miles down the road. So it's my takeoff on M&M's 8 Mile. And
the kids relate to you?
I have a lot of fun. Yes, I'm doing a takeoff on 8 Mile for 6 Mile, but I think you'll love it. It's this dumb thing, but there are some real differences between kids now since the time I first got saved, and you'd be able to look back and see the same kind of parallels. I'm from New Zealand, and so we had a very British as well as Aussie, Australian kind of things, as well as American. But one of the key differences between kids is they are equipped technologically a lot more than we had access to in those days. So if we looked at a modern kid today, they would have access to ocean-wide data. You know, you were mentioning Facebook and Twitter and some other various forms of social media. But the thickness of that ocean is about that thick. And what they miss is they have no history. They have no background. So if they're walking in that water, it's to the ankles.
Wow.
So it's what Os Guinness, who was Francis Schaeffer's friend and a lot of stuff, he had a wonderful saying. He talked about the difference between believability and verifiability. In the old days, if we wanted to talk to people about the Lord, we'd do a lot of verifiability. In other words, give them evidence of why what we're saying is true and biblical and historical. And so we might spend a little bit of time just getting to know people, talking to them and maybe even laughing with them or something, and then tell them what they didn't know, okay? But today, there's been a real shift. That's verifiability. What kids want to know now, after the postmodern thing, we're now post-postmodern, what kids want to know now is not so much what can you prove to me, but do I believe you? So they're looking at us. If they believe you when you're talking, if everything that you say matches what they know of their world, then when you tell them something they've never heard of, they will listen. And that solidly applies to the gospel. It can be quite simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You're a theologian. It doesn't even have to be all the details of it. I did a 14-year project called The Nature and Character of God. And we're on volume 2 of it now, and I hope the next 2 volumes don't take 14 years. I'll be very old by the time that set's finished. But kids don't mind that you don't talk about all the details. They want to know, do I believe you? And they'll know that in about 30 or 40 seconds.
You're saying in easier terms, they can spot a phony a mile off?
Absolutely. Yeah. And they are so sophisticated. They've seen the most sophisticated things that you look at, and the old Wolfman movies. It took like 6 hours to change the guy's makeup when they were shooting.
I never messed with that.
I wasn't saying you were on the Wolfman, but you understand that it took so long to do that. Now you're looking at something you would swear you're looking at the real thing.
I do want to get your website up, and I urge you to make note of it because there's so much material in there. You've written, what, 15, 20 books?
Yeah, it's 16, and the study Bible was the last one. And we've got a new site coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, we've got, this is the Revival Study Bible.
That's a major
the box,
project, that one.
But
yeah.
it appears like any other kind of Bible. And so what am I going to find in here that's different?
First of all, it's the first Bible since 1512, $10 edition, that is filled with the supernatural. It has church history in it, 2,000 years of it, from biblical times to today.
So you're talking about supernatural apart from the Scripture?
Yeah. No, yeah, well, we already have record of what God did then.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of people think, well, he did it then, but he doesn't do it now. Or, you know, revivals used to happen, but if there's any revivals now, because, for instance, there's only about 30-something verses in the whole Bible that are even connected with revival. If it's in the New Testament now, there's almost no mention of revival. This is the way most people think today. Therefore, if there is a revival, it's probably a revival of evil. It is some counterfeit of some sort and not the real thing. But one of the main three general editors of this thing spent 20 solid years researching the biblical base of revival. She found 50 synonyms for that word.
The biblical base.
The biblical base of revival, what it actually is.
Because there's a lot of counterfeit.
Yes, and it's looking at both
so
sides.
So you want the biblically based.
Yeah, the coolest thing about this is in this study, she found 50 synonyms for the word revive. Alive, revive, you know, it's not just revive and revived, that thing. There are 50 synonyms. Now, if you plug those back into the Scriptures, you can scarcely open 2 pages of the Bible without seeing something about that word. And the core thing we need to see here is we are not seeking revival. That is a description. We're seeking the Lord. So I have...
And that should be part of it.
Yeah, it's a description. Revival is a description.
Well, how important is it that we maintain a history of great revivals? I know Great Britain has experienced them.
Yes.
We certainly have.
Yes.
We've had some, I believe, were counterfeit, according to the words of the Lord.
Yes.
But we've had great ones. Charles Finney.
Yes.
Jonathan Edwards.
Yes, Jonathan Edwards. There's a whole stack of them. George Whitefield, D.L. Moody's time.
See, I want to see the kind of revival that really... Wasn't it the Welsh revival where they were just out in the streets getting saved and changed?
Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, when I first came here from New Zealand, I saw in a grocery store revival. I went, where? And I went over and it said, you know, with the Andrews sisters beginning beginning Monday and ending Wednesday.
Yeah,
and I thought, what is that?
Yeah.
But we've used the word, misused the word revival a lot, trying to describe... Just like meetings become revivals.
Do you know of any place in the world now where there's a revival going on, as you know, as we just mentioned, something similar?
Thing,
a biblical revival.
Where God shows up. And it's inexplicable by, you know, we had great singing, we had great preaching, we brought some great guests, and not even in that story. The reason why people don't know about this yet, we were going to launch it in the middle of an awakening, and then simply take clips of what God had done in the past to show people you have forgotten what God has done before, because it's not Jesus Christ the same yesterday and yesterday and yesterday. He's exactly the same God as he did in the past.
And this you can get on the website. But back to the other question, where in the world today, maybe would you, and maybe there's not one going on, I don't know.
Yes,
but for instance, in Great Britain, you know, that was the Reformation and all, and now their cathedrals are empty.
Yes.
I mean, it is, I've heard of some good church services going there, but basically it's nothing's going on there.
Yes.
And then we could say the same here, you know, in many ways. I know we've got some real mega churches and all, but...
not necessarily the same thing at all, but that doesn't say that it's... Actually, some revival is a temporary thing. It's not, again, that's we can't keep seeking. It's like seeking the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But when God shows up, most times we're not ready for that. It's like being transported into heaven, but you could die with the kind of bodies we've got. And my friend Steve Hill, who is in Brownsville, that's the longest running awakening that was centered in one place in America's history, and it was nearly 6 years. But poor Steve was going to bed at 2 in the morning, and God would wake him up at 5 and give him the next message.
Well, and also, the revival should have very long-range results.
Yes, the consequences. Now, the difference between the consequences of today is your neighbor may not live even next door to you anymore. Most of the friends we have, and probably for you too, they're in other places. But you can, you know, Facebook could connect you, or you could be on an iPad, or just call them, and they're in another nation, another country, and these are our closest friends, people we've been with. We could call them at 3 in the morning and go hi, and they wouldn't hang up on us. So when an awakening comes, it does begin to affect society. But your social network is not what it was like even 10 years ago. And so that means that if my life is really transformed in today's kind of tech world, within seconds, a huge chunk of the world can know something is going on. For instance, the largest church in the world is now not at all in the Western world. And my friend who has visited that place 3 or 4 times.
Is that in South Korea?
No, it's not. It's actually bigger than Joe's church.
Yeah. Where is it?
Much larger. It's in an Islamic nation that has none of us ever went there and started this thing.
Wow.
It's a God thing. But here's what it is. You know how big this church is? The building is 1.2 square miles. It's the largest covered building on earth. But that is not the church. The church has 4 million people in it. Million people are all that will fit into it.
What country is this?
It's, well, if I told you, you wouldn't believe it. It's where a lot of people get that scam mail from. It's actually 300. I'll let the people
let them figure it out, because we are just about out of time.
Yeah, it's 300 miles away from the closest big city.
Okay, I'm going to get that out of him after the program's over. Oh man,
but it's amazing. It's amazing. The only time they can have everybody come is when they have a huge meeting, and it's in the middle of nowhere. They have to use huge videos and stuff like that.
I'm going to learn more about this. We're out of time right now.
You will love it.
Hey, join me next time. Remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
Yeah.
If you would like a video copy of today's Homekeepers program for just $19.95, call 1-800-229-0059 for credit card orders, or send a gift of at least $19.95 to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758. Be sure to note the program number which appears on your screen.
Are you looking for a common sense approach to better health?
I'm Dr. Richard Becker, and this is my wife, Cindy.
Watch Your Health weekdays here on CTN Christian Television Network.
Your Health features daily health news, holistic health experts, insight into dietary supplements, and on-air answers to your health calls.
And join me in the kitchen as we make healthy foods to restore your health and vitality.
That's weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here on CTN.
When I was 16, I was in a bad car accident, and the doctors told me I would never stand again. Somehow, I knew I would. Progress has been slow, but family, friends, and strangers all started to pray for me.
Whether you need support in a tragedy or just to make it through a bad day, prayer can make a difference. America, let's come together by believing with each other.
For someone to come alongside you and say, I'm going to believe with you, it means a lot.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Hickey, and I'm so excited about being on CTN again. And our program today with Marilyn and Sarah, listen to this, will be on every weekday morning at 7 a.m., and that's Eastern Standard Time. So, you know, the early bird gets the word. Get up, get the word, let the word absolutely transform your day. That's what the word can do. It can change any circumstances. See you.
God's love, elevating, energizing. energizing, empowering.